Hello there, Sandi Hayner, Stillwater, Minnesota. A woman recently asked me, "You don't even have kids in the district, schools. Why are you so involved with all that is going on?" I thought that was a very interesting question. My response is, you do have children in the schools. Why aren't you? But I guess if that's a real question, I'll answer. Wrong is wrong. I'm a taxpayer, a mother, a friend, a family member, educator, community member, and just a general concerned human being. It is my understanding that any one of those would qualify me to care about standing up to injustice. But what do I know? I did not know that there was also a religious stipulation. Let me explain. Recently, at a session with your newest consultant, Mary Ciccone, Vice Chair Paula O'Loughlin was scolding Ms. Stivland for attending the recent community-led town hall meeting. She falsely stated that the town hall was created by 834 Voice, the entity suing the district for violation of open meeting laws and conflict of interest issues. This untruth was repeated as though it was some sort of leverage to stifle Ms. Stivland's First Amendment rights and compassion for community engagement. Myself and members of the audience spoke up to clarify that the town hall meeting was not an 834 Voice event. The consultant, hired to coach the board on community engagement, shushed us and allowed the false narrative to live on. Interesting. I approached Vice Chair Paula after the meeting to clarify the situation. First, she told me that I should set up a meeting with her for another day. I agreed, but I just wanted to at least clear up the town hall thing. She continued to affirm that her belief and her secondhand information was more valid than what I was telling her as one of the town hall presenters. She was not open to the truth, but rather preferred her own version of the story and justified grudge against Mrs. Stivland. And then things took an odd and unexpected turn. Paula, the vice chair, began a lengthy explanation in which she shared that she is a religious person and does her best to do what her God tells her to do. She went on to say that her moral and ethical compass are what drives her decisions, and if she's wrong, well, she'll just deal with that at the pearly gates. She explained that people have said mean things she doesn't like, and she considers that to be very unchristian-like. She explained that she does not surround herself nor spend time with those who, in her opinion, act unchristian-like, and that is why she didn't attend the town hall meeting. I asked if she considered myself and the speakers to be unchristian-like. Are all the people who support 834 Voice also unchristian-like? She told me to stop putting words in her mouth and then said that she had to leave. I shared that while I support people creating personal boundaries, and I do so myself, her job as a board member is clearly impacted by this sweeping generalization and personal standpoint of hers. How can she represent a community she looks down upon? Who made her the moral and ethical, much less Christian authority of worthiness? I mentioned that little thing about the separation of church and state. I asked if she could see how this prevents her from doing the job we pay her to do. I asked if she understood that she had applied and campaigned for a job in public office in which she makes public decisions, using public money, but somehow wants to remain immune from public opinion. I asked if she could understand that perspective. She answered, "Nope. That doesn't make any sense." She didn't know what I was getting at and abruptly began to walk away, saying she had to get home. I responded, "That's fine. I'll email like she suggested and we can set something up." Hurrying away, she said, "Great." I emailed the next day and she responded that she decided the meeting with me would be unproductive, even though I hadn't even told her what I wanted to discuss. I replied that she and I have common ground and that I'd like to expand on that. And she then not only included Board Chair Hebner and Superintendent Petrelli on the email thread, but also said that I should take my questions about her to George, that he was the best person for the job. Chair Hebner never responded to any of the emails, 8 in total. I asked if she was abdicating her board role to Chair Hebner, and she ended the correspondence. Last week, after another meeting, I attempted to speak with her, and she refused to stop walking, much less even look at me. I reminded her of the email she never responded to, and you said you'd look for it, and I still haven't heard from you. This is just one example of what many others have experienced with certain members of this board. This is what it's like to try to collaborate, share ideas, thoughts, ask questions, clear inaccuracies, etc. One might start to wonder if the narratives the board and admin hold on to so tightly might start to unravel if they found out that the community is not actually a group of Satanists or hate-filled evildoers, but actually very thoughtful, smart, invested, committed individuals perfectly capable of working with those who they may disagree with. What if we'd met and she realized we have common ground and concerns? What if she learned I'm unequivocally not anti-education nor driven by hate? What if I became a human being with whom she could identify? What would that do to her closely held victim status and narrative? Every self-claimed good guy needs a bad guy or they lose their pedestal they've placed themselves upon. What if we're not actually the bad guys? I guess that's a risk you weren't willing to take, huh? This is why people are frustrated. Bold is just the beginning, and it's definitely true. Bold has people paying attention, and this is what we're seeing. So my question to you, Board Chair Hepner, will you please explain how this behavior and response from your board vice chair is not in violation of your own board policies? Do you condone this type of self-righteousness and discrimination of those in the community who do not align with a board member's personal religious beliefs? Thanks.
Thank you.
Chair Hepner?
Yes.
May I respond since my name was...
Go right ahead.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Hayner, for being here tonight and for sharing your
Sure,
thoughts
anytime,
and perspectives. And I just want to let you know that I see you and I hear you. I hear your frustration and the frustration and maybe even hurt that I'm hearing. So I'm always willing to meet with any community member.
Except me.
And I'm sorry. I'm still speaking. I'm more than happy to sit down and meet with any community member, and when that conversation is rooted in respect and civility and kindness and honesty, I think that's when together we can work together to find solutions and identify solutions that are going to move this district forward for each and every child. And so when those values are present, I'm always happy to meet.
So which policy gives you the right to make those stipulations?
Thank you for being here.
So that's another question. Which policy allows her to make
Thanks
up
for your comment.
which community member she will engage? So that's a question.
Thanks for your, fine, and I've got
Write it
that
down.
down.
Thanks.
I will. Thank you.